Welcome to Aizuwakamatsu, the land of Akabeko, the city of samurai, only 3 hours from Tokyo. In this video, I'm going to take you to some interesting places to see, from amazing wooden structures, historical sites with epic stories, empty beautiful gardens, castles, local ramen and food, sake tasting, a cafe whose location changed Japan, and even making my own crafts. Let's go! I've always recommended heading to lesser known, off the beaten path places, and with the issue of overtourism, getting to places like Aizuwakamatsu is now more important than ever. As you'll see, there's so much packed into this town, and hopefully I can convince you to visit too. Sazaedo behind me is an incredible structure with only 5 left in Japan, this one being amongst the top 3. It's modelled on a shellfish, like a sea snail, and you can see why. And the really cool thing about this location specifically is that you will go up spiraling one way and you will come back a completely different path, never crossing paths with anyone. You come up one way, and when you get to the top, the spiral continues, but you start walking like in the opposite direction. So it is quite an interesting, I've never actually encountered anything like this in Japan in all of the many trips that I've taken. And I know that this isn't the only one in Japan, there are others. However, this one's pretty cool. A short walk away and you'll find the burial site of the Byakkotai, a military unit made up of teenage boys. It's a sad but powerful story of loyalty which could have had a very different ending. Behind me lies a very sad story of the Byakkotai, which were a group of like a teenage army of samurai soldiers that mistook a signal. They thought that the war had been, that they had lost the war, and as a result they took their own lives. I haven't been able to film in this area out of respect, but it's definitely incredibly beautiful and very touching and very moving. Japan is famous for its food, so my top recommendation is to eat local, and that's exactly what I did. I am in Medetaya, a quirky, authentic, unique ramen store here in Aizuwakamatsu, where I'm going to be having mountain salt ramen, which is unique to this area due to a story where a monk 1,000 years ago came to an inn and spent the night and had a conversation with an old woman who was telling her of her troubles and how life needed more salt. And 17 days later, a spring appeared in this mountainous area with no salt, and the spring had salt. And therefore, this ramen was born here in Aizuwakamatsu. So I totally recommend that you check it out if you have a chance. So I've got my mountain salt ramen, but it also comes with a pork cutlet, which looks amazing by the way, and it's one of my favorite things in Japan. I have Mariko here, and guess what she's found? She's found a 4-leaf clover. This must be the luckiest ramen store in the whole of Japan, definitely Aizuwakamatsu. So my question is, can you find a 4-leaf clover? Outside of this ramen store, there's a whole clover field. She did. I don't think I would be able to. There are plenty of famous Japanese gardens, but sometimes it's the ones with no tourists that bring you the most peace. I felt like I had to change into my regal robes for this occasion in Oyakuen. This garden is phenomenal. It's actually known as a medicinal herb garden. You can stroll around relaxing and really enjoy the atmosphere. In fact, one of the things that I love about traveling to places like this in the Inaka, in the Japanese countryside, is that you can actually enjoy and cherish these moments with less tourists around. I mean, I've been walking around and I think I've seen 2 in the last half an hour. But I'm not just here for the garden, I'm also here to have a nice matcha green tea, sitting, enjoying the view that's in front of me. It's definitely worth a trip to this location. Sitting here, just enjoying the view of that ancient tea house and the carp swimming in the pond. has been amazing. And I've learned, and I didn't know this, that the legend goes that the carp are a fish that can swim upstream and they can swim up waterfalls, and if they do that, they become dragons. And I think I saw a silver carp that was about to become a dragon. You've probably seen these sort of like lantern, kind of like stone, epic like pillars. And you want to know something that I've just learned today? That is that they have different shapes. And if you see a moon, it's facing west, and you can figure out the rest of the directions depending on the different shapes of the four sides. So there you go. Japanese castles are unique, and at Aizuwakamatsu City, where samurai culture is prevalent, this castle could be among one of the best. Aizuwakamatsu Castle, there's nothing better than a castle town, and that's what Aizuwakamatsu is. In fact, the castle behind me with a red roof is relatively new. The original was actually black and was destroyed during an earthquake at the end of the 16th century. Since then, it was bombed and rebuilt again to what we have here, this beautiful castle. And you know what? There's nothing better than a castle town in Japan. But you know what's even better? A samurai city like Aizuwakamatsu. I always say it, the best way to check out a city or a place is to get to a high vantage point like I am in right now at the top of Aizuwakamatsu Castle. It's a great little location for you to actually see all the way around 360 degrees on this sort of veranda terrace that circles the top of the castle. And what a view it is. Definitely worth it just for this view. It's clear that the city has a lot to offer, but just outside the city you'll find this incredibly well-preserved town. Ouchi-Juku is an old restored post town about 20 kilometers away from Aizuwakamatsu, and as you can see, it's unique with its thatched roofs. You'll be able to find a plethora of interesting touristy things like ice cream, traditional snacks, things like sake tasting, souvenirs. It's a really nice walk, and it's really beautiful here. Definitely really good for photos. After plenty of sightseeing and souvenir shopping, I headed for some tasty sake, something that I recommend everyone try. Oishii desu. Very good, very dangerous. I'm acting as if I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. Good. There you go, we have the bottle that we just drank of sake, and that one was the first one. Umeshu also here, and the great thing is that it's totally free. It's a free taster. I've had 2 types of sake, and I'm having this. I can taste the honey. They told me that they add local honey, and I can taste it for sure. The next morning, we rented some bicycles, which actually is a great way to explore the town. So, Aizuwakamatsu is famous for this fella. Well, not quite this fella, because this fella isn't painted yet, but this is an Akabeko, and it is a traditional toy in Japan. You've probably seen it around, and it originated here in Aizuwakamatsu, and legend has it that it was used as a charm when there was some kind of a pandemic, and the priest at a temple told the people of Aizuwakamatsu to create an Akabeko to protect them from disease, and that's where this fella comes from. And I've come here to Bansho, which is a location where you can actually paint your own Akabeko. Something that's actually quite difficult to do because most other places you need to reserve. But this one, you can just walk in. I'll leave all the information in the description, and a great way to come to this location, which is a little bit out of the way to be honest, is renting a bicycle. By the way, did you know that only around 25% of viewers are subscribed to my channel? So why not stroll through some of my other videos to see some other guides and informative videos about Japan, such as this one. But let's get back to creating an akabeko. Let's do it. Not only can you make an akabeko, but you can also make an akabe, which is this cowbell, and you can also paint it yourself and design it yourself. And this is the only place in the whole of Aizuwakamatsu where you can make this one. So very cute, very cool. Which one would you make? Right, I'm standing in what might look like any ordinary normal coffee shop or traditional coffee shop here in Japan, in Aizuwakamatsu. But this one here, it has a very interesting, unique story that sort of changed Japan in a way. So let's go in. This cafe is rich in history. It used to be the Kaio Clinic where Dr. Hideo Noguchi underwent surgery for a burnt hand. An inspiring location that led to him becoming an inspirational doctor and features on the 1,000 yen note today. This is a dude that I'm talking about, man. I am sitting in a coffee shop which is called Ichibankan. You can have a nice coffee like I am having now in any standard coffee shop, or you can sit down in history and have a coffee. And that's what I'm doing here. Made some new friends here. Eigo hanashimasu ka? Yes? Yeah. Can you say subscribe? Subscribe. Ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Subscribe! I'm leaving Aizuwakamatsu, unfortunately. I've had a great trip, but not everything ends here. Why not check out my Patreon, where I have actually filmed some additional bonus things of locations in Aizuwakamatsu that you might find interesting? Or how about subscribing and liking this video too, so that you can keep up with the adventure and see where I'm up to next. And finally, if you're interested in pocket Wi-Fi, which is one of the things that I highly recommend as a tourist traveling around the country, why not check out my affiliate link at Sakura Mobile? They are pretty fantastic, and they are one of the favorites amongst Ninja Monkey viewers. Not only will you be helping the channel, but you'll also be getting a great product too. See you soon all. Bye.